Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Versus Night. Tonight, I will be comparing Class from 1983 versus Youngblood from 1986. So, let's get started on this with the leads. Class stars Rob Lowe and Jacqueline Bisset. Youngblood stars Rob Lowe and Cynthia Gibb. Now, even though both these films star Rob Lowe, he's playing a different character in both of them. And, that's more than apparent if you watch these films. In Class, he plays a character named Skip, who is more of a fun-loving prankster. In Youngblood, he plays the title character of Dean Youngblood, who is a very serious role, and he is wanting to become a professional hockey player. So, two completely different takes on a Rob Lowe role. He is really great in both films, though, and he's excellent as the fun-loving, Skip, and then he's really cool as the serious guy that's wanting to become this hockey player in Dean. But his co-leads in Class, it's Jacqueline Bisset, who is playing his mother. And she's really great, as usual. I really love Jacqueline Bisset as an actress. And they clash as characters because she's more serious and wanting him to embrace his rich lifestyle that he's from, and he is rebelling against that, and that's why he does the pranks and has the fun that he has in the prep school that they're in. Whereas, in Youngblood, you have Cynthia Gibb, who is the excellent love interest to Rob Lowe in the coach's daughter. And she is just so cute and adorable, and I've always loved her as well. So this one's tough. I'm gonna go with a tie on this one because this is both of these films. The leads is great. I mean, Rob Lowe is great in both films, and his co-leads are excellent as well. So I'm going to go with a tie on this one. All right, so let's move on to supporting. Supporting cast of Class consists of Andrew McCarthy, Stuart Margolin, Cliff Robertson, John Cusack, Alan Ruck, Casey Siemaszko, and Virginia Madsen. The supporting cast on Youngblood consists of Ed Lauder, Jim Youngs, Patrick Swayze, Fionnuala Flanagan, Ken James, George J. Finn, Eric Nestorenko, and Keanu Reeves. Now, the supporting cast on Class is stacked with really, really good actors in there playing their roles in here. I mean, you have Andrew McCarthy playing the character of the student Jonathan who befriends Rob Lowe's Skip. And then you have Stuart Margolin as one of the main teachers at the prep school, who is really great in his part. And then you have Cliff Robertson as the husband to Jacqueline Bisset and the father to Rob Lowe. And then you have the students around them that are kind of the friends in this clique that include, what will become bigger stars at this time. This was like their first introduction to film with John Cusack, Alan Ruck, and Casey Siemaszko. And also Virginia Madsen. Great cast in there. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, Youngblood, though it doesn't have as many big names or names that have played in a lot of stuff that you know of, it does have Ed Lauter, who is always an amazing character actor playing the coach in here, and he is great in here. Jim Youngs plays Rob Lowe's brother, and he's really good in here. Patrick Swayze plays a fellow player who really becomes a really close friend and almost like a second brother to Rob Lowe's character, and is really great in his role. And I always love Patrick Swayze in anything he's in. But he really steps it up in this one. The rest of the cast, other than Keanu Reeves, who this was his first movie he'd ever played in, there's not a lot of bigger names in this one as there are in Class. So, even though I really love Ed Lauter and Patrick Swayze, I'm going to have to give this one to Class. All right, so let's move on to story and see if we can get a clear-cut winner on this one. Class, the story consists of a student, Jonathan, arrives at a prep school and befriends fellow student Skip. After a rocky start due to Skip's pranks, while on a hiatus, Jonathan meets and falls in love with an older woman who it turns out is Skip's mother. The story behind Youngblood consists of a New York farm boy named Dean Youngblood travels to Canada to try out for the Hamilton Mustangs hockey team and earns the nickname Pretty Boy and has a rivalry with a fellow player and falls for the coach's beautiful daughter. Now, these are two completely different types of stories. With Class, you have, for the most part, a fun comedy, and then it jumps into more serious elements when Andrew McCarthy's character of Jonathan begins to fall in love with Jacqueline Bissett's mother of Rob Lowe's character of Skip. And then you get more of a dramatic story in there. And it is very well written, but it does begin to really cut into the, because it starts off this fun, Porky's style, fun comedy, and then it goes into these more serious elements that seem to interfere with the fun of the original comedy elements of it. And then when it tries to revert back to that after going more drama, it just seems a little uneven. Whereas Youngblood, its story is just consistent all the way through. It is a dramatic film following Rob Lowe's character of Dean as he attempts to become the best hockey player he can with the help of Patrick Swayze's character and Ed Lauter's coach. While also, having this romantic relationship with the lovely Cynthia Gibb in there. It is much more of an even storyline. So I think on that merit alone, I think I'm going to give this one to Youngblood. All right, so let's move on to direction and see if we can get a final winner on this one. Class is directed by Louis John Carlino. Youngblood is directed by Peter Markle. Now, as I said before, for the most part, Class is a comedy, and Louis John Carlino does an excellent job of directing those comedic scenes and making them really fun. But it's when he gets into the dramatic stuff, he does well in that as well. That's what's so hard with the story, that it takes away from the comedy elements of it. But it's not on Lewis as a director. I think he does a great job directing both the serious elements of it and the comedic elements of it. So he does a really great job in directing this. Whereas Peter Markle directs all the drama between the on the ice when they're playing hockey, and it's well done as far as the hockey elements of the film go. And for irony, in Class, Louis John Carlino actually has Rob Lowe and Andrew McCarthy go to a hockey game. And it's funny that 3 years later with Youngblood, Rob Lowe is playing a hockey player in here. But I think Peter Markle does a really good job with getting the most out of his actors, and the performances of, you know, the main characters of Rob Lowe, Cynthia Gibb, Ed Lauter, and Patrick Swayze are just so damn good, and he directs them so well in this film. I'm going to have to give this one to Peter Markle for Youngblood. So that gives us our winner in the final score of 2-3 in favor of Youngblood. So what do you think of these films? Do you agree with my assessment on this? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you are by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have access to a post that is on the Plus area right now, in which you can post a movie, TV show, or a ranking video that you want me to do on the channel. And whenever I do it, it'll go up on the Plus area exclusively for all Plus members to watch prior to it becoming a live video on the channel. So if you want to get interactive, now's your chance.
Well, that's the end of another Versus Night. If you missed last week's Versus Night, check out the link up in here. Or if you've missed any of the other Versus Nights, check out our playlist and see anything that you have missed.